Well, I might as well get to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have now come to the right place.
It's time for the late night snack.
That's where the drums kick in, because we're serious and we're ready to podcast.
You're professionals.
We can create a perfect world in our heads.
Welcome back to the Late Night Snack. I'm your host, Dawson O'Brien. If you saw the episode last week, Maddie had a girls episode with Sydney Bayard, and it was decent, if you want to say that. Anyways, now it's time for the boys to take over. So I brought the very funny, always hilarious, you might have seen him if you shop at Piggly Wiggly, Zach Lambert. Thank you for being here, Zach.
Thank you for having me, D-Money. I appreciate coming on.
Absolutely.
To be on such an esteemed show.
I really love the painting behind you. It's such a, I don't know, you're kind of painting this kind of cool picture where it's like I'm a true-blooded American with my overalls, but I have class. I like wine, I like cigars, and it just says a lot about you as a person.
True story, I got that at a Baptist church auction for $5 because no one wanted to buy had a bottle of wine in it, and they were scared of alcohol. So that's a true
cool
story.
That's kind of cool that the church just has that. Just like, hey, Jesus would think this is cool.
We're doing a church auction, and some lady brought it in that has an artist friend, and everyone else wouldn't bid on it because they thought it was a sin because it had wine in it. I was like, I want to throw in $5, see what happens, and then I got it. So gorgeous, great story. The whole Baptist thing, me and my buddies, me and my buddies came over. We had a fun night, and then we came up with a backstory. His whole thing with the dude. It's fun though. That's for a different podcast though.
Oh yeah. I would love to see, though, the auction that you got that, where you bid $5 and the person was like, sold to the center with $5 in his pocket. Come get your horrible, sinful painting, person that will never see the gates of heaven.
There was actually an old lady who I knew her a little bit. She never liked me. And she saw that I buy it, so she scoffed on me on the way up. So I was walking by, I kind of like in her face with it. It was beautiful. Really, big power move for my life, being a high schooler.
Watch them try to sell that painting, and because no one bid it, they were like, just go ahead and put the Lucifer portrait in the back. I don't think anyone's going to buy that one.
Going to hell anyway. Might as well get acquainted with the warden.
Zach, it is good to have you on the show. Just to tell you a little bit about the show as well. We like to show a lot of videos. It's one of our passions. And I have shown this video I'm about to show you already on the podcast, but I think it's one of the best, funniest videos I've ever seen on the internet. And I really want to get your reaction. Because also, too, I know this is a funny video. I know also that you are a huge fan of arts and you love when people express themselves, and dancing is one of them. So I just wanted to see what you thought of this awesome dance video that I found on the internet.
Totally down. I'm a big art connoisseur. My middle name, essentially, at this point in my life.
Can you see the video right here?
I can see it. It's not playing yet.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. My favorite part, okay, so now that you've seen it, know what's coming, watch the people around. Every person in this, subway train has a different reaction. So, first off, there's a kid. Here, let me try to find it. Right here, this kid right here, he thinks these guys are awesome. He's the only one that's he was looking up to them, and then his life completely changed. So you can see him being all happy here. See him smiling. Like they're awesome. Watch his face right here. And then this old guy here to the right, he's reading his newspaper and he doesn't care about anything that's going on and he thinks it's a gunshot. Watch this right here. What would you do? You're on the subway. What do you do when you see that?
I mean, first I would laugh for a solid 15 straight minutes. And afterwards, I would loot the body. Obviously, that man's definitely down after that. So you got to run into his
I don't think he's in dancing school anymore.
He's definitely not. I don't know if he can even tap dance after that. He's relearning to walk after that injury. He smacked that.
He doesn't know where he's at.
He doesn't know anything.
How do you feel like his friend on the bottom that's holding him? He just can feel the energy and he hears the smack and he can feel it and he knows that he just has to set him down gently.
I mean, that friend just realized that he just crippled his best friend for life right there.
He did.
He just crippled his best friend. Well, how do you situation?
I wonder if the embarrassment all went on him or if his friend also felt it. Or if his friend was like, I'm glad everyone's making sure he's okay and no one's looking at me for that.
He just quietly leaves the subway and leaves his buddy. So we just have to put the people on the subway. That's what I would do. If I was one hoisting that guy up, I would try to leave the subway as fast as I can so I don't get convicted of a homicide because he just nooned his best friend.
And they're both really tall guys, and like the roof is not that tall. So I don't know where in the thought process they're like, oh, I can fling you over top of me and you won't hit anything.
This is why I'm a big believer in Darwin and his theory on natural selection. I don't even think they thought about what they were doing. Like maybe outside of the subway, I'm sure it would have been perfect. He would have flew and done a triple flip. Who knows? But in a metal tube under the ground, why would he do that?
It'll be the funniest thing ever. If that guy was just like a well-known graduate of Harvard and the video came out and everyone was the value of the degree at that institution went downhill.
They just say, "No, dude, you're good. Actually, you're obviously more Yale material." And they spit at him.
I wonder if that guy like actually had to like get facial reconstruction, or at least like his nose had to break. It had to.
He looks like Voldemort now, probably. He definitely has no nose. They probably people look at him like, "You sneezing off or something?" He's like, "No, I'm sorry."
He's literally like, I can't breathe I can't smell anything anymore. And people are like, oh, did you get COVID? He's like, actually, my buddy, he threw me into the roof of a subway train. And everyone's
My nose is somewhere on. It's on B train somewhere downtown. I think a sewer rat has it.
That kid is
Those kingpin rats, you know what I'm talking about?
Literally, that kid, like he's watching them and he's like, one day I'm going to follow my dreams. I'm going to perform for people. And then he saw the person die. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to become an accountant. I'm not even going to touch that stuff. I'm going to go to law school.
I respect that. I want to do something with my life, mama. Good for him. No.
Do you you work at the moonshine place downtown, right?
I'm a moonshiner. If you can't tell from the outfit, I I grew up drinking moonshine, but that was before moonshine was legal and everything. So every time there was like a party or anything, they would show up with 2-gallon jugs of milk. You know, there's definitely not milk. There's milk in that jug right there. It's some homebrew mountain juice right there. And I mean, that stuff, you put a lighter, it'll burn for days. I mean, I had a kid. His name was I think it was Eugene. Maybe it was Eugene. I don't know. We had a
Eugene from East Tennessee.
Eugene from East Tennessee. He was a funny kid. Yeah, but there was like a redneck row in my school where all the rednecks would bark, and Eugene one day was like, "I'm so bad, I got me cursing up a storm," and I was like, "I can't, I ran out of gas." And our buddy Colin walked up and said, "Here, take one of these." Gave him a jug of moonshine. Dude straight up poured in his diesel truck and then drove down the street to a Waggles. And legit, I was like, "You really just put moonshine in your truck?" He goes, "I did, and it worked." Most respect, yeah, but I love moonshine. Obviously, if you can't tell, it's a great
story. That story makes you feel really good that you put it in your body. That it can make a truck go forward.
Yeah. Yeah, we Appalachian folk, we're not too wise. You know, we lived up in the mountains, and we didn't understand like electricity didn't exist until about the 1930s. We didn't understand anything was happening. We were just drinking shine, getting in with our life.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it happens in East Tennessee, but you know, at the same time too, like y'all just follow, like, you know, what Drake say. You know, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's some straight up good corn mash right there for you.
It is. That's what I always say about Tennessee, University of Tennessee, is that like it's in the alma mater song, or not the alma mater song, but like it's in like the school song, drinking moonshine.
It's a real thing.
It's where you get like your college degree.
Yeah.
It says I'm fit for work.
Well, something funny, like growing up, like it was such like a prevalent thing. Like, I remember the first time I had moonshine, I was in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
And what happened was my dad 4th grade, dude. Look how wonderful I turned out. I have a $5 Baptist church auction painting in my house. American flag overall jorts. Oh, they're short. I don't know if you saw that either. They're
no, I didn't see it. Whoa.
I know. Maybe a little saucy for y'all, but that's how we do. Why is my dog saying hi? But she wants moonshine now too. We're all fiends. But I was in the 4th grade. My dad worked at a comedy club where he had a lady bring a moonshine from Alabama, and she made in her own little still. And one day he called me over saying, "Zach, take a swig of this, put some hair on your chest." And he took a little swig of it. And I thought it was just water because it was just clear in a mason jar.
Yep.
I also drank out of mason jars too because, you know, degenerates. I still drink out of mason jars. Shoot. Anyways, hands me the bottle, and I wanted to show him, like, I can drink fast, you know. I want to show my dad up. I said, "Here you go." So I took about 3 very big, fast gulps, and then I felt the entire wrath going down my throat. And then he grabbed me by the shoulders. It was very serious. He was like, "Go in your room and don't talk to your mom for the next 4 hours." And dude, one of the best night's sleep I ever had as a kid. I mean, shoot. I slept, I think, about 16 hours that day. Oh,
yeah.
God. Terrible.
Oh.
Yeah, moonshine is like a big part of our culture down there.
I can't even imagine having, first off, that strong of an alcohol at such a young age. Like when you were like, was that like the first alcoholic thing you've ever had?
That was the first alcohol thing. I took 3 big swirls.
You took a jump, didn't you? you leaped over lots of different alcohol levels there.
Catapulted to some people, you know, their dads like sneak a sip of beer. Nah, I was thrown in a volcano with a gunpowder strapped to my butt.
You probably think, what drugs did you do with your dad in middle school? He's like, "This is a needle. Okay, it's time for you to be a man."
Come on, grow up. sissies. Come on.
Grow up,
Yeah.
show me a vein. Yeah.
Yeah, he was moonshine in the 4th grade, and then black tar in the 6th grade. You know, we had a little ceremony. It was like one of those kindergarten graduations,
Yeah.
with heroin.
Oh, God. But hey, now you're working at the moonshine thing. So it was all, a fruition of life. It got you where it's supposed to be right now. Do you like working there? Are there any hazardous things at work?
Well, see, I do. See, I commit to the job much better than some other people. We're supposed to, like, when there's moonshine, needs to be like, we have these giant shelves, what I'm trying to say.
Right.
That's where we keep all of our moonshine in the whole place. And the shelves are like 20 feet up in the air, so you definitely can't reach them. There's like this big ladder thing we have to bring stuff down whenever we don't have it down at the bottom for people to grab. But it's so hard to bring it out sometimes. So what I do is, which no one condones, they always say OSHA's pissed at me, but OSHA can come find me. I just climb the shelving units like a monkey. And I just like put them, I also wear those overalls sometimes. And I just put them in my pockets, and I'm climbing around like a little spider monkey camel. And I'm restocking the shelves, like climbing these giant wooden grates. Completely unsafe. But it is a spectacular show to watch. Like, is he going to die or not? Is he going to fall to his death like Mufasa in Lion King?
That is actually kind of awesome. That's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. If you go when Zach's working there, you'll not only get moonshine, but you'll get a heck of a show at the same time. Reason I'm bringing up working and not health hazards, but just hazards at work is, Sonic is actually a very hazardous place to work. You got to deliver food on roller skates. And I don't know if anyone's ever thought about it, but moments like this happen quite often. Let me know what you think.
Oh. Get the corn dogs.
I want to watch that one more time. I think it's cool.
Oh. Get the corn dogs.
I love he just goes back and says, you got corn dogs.
Like, hey, look, I brought you the drinks, but did you get the corn dogs? Because all your drinks are screwed. And it's like, yeah, I got the corn dogs, but they're going to taste like blue raspberry now, and they're soggy.
What if they're like, oh, actually, we ordered a Diet Coke, and that was it? That'd be terrible if it was in the wrong car. Like, sorry, dude, actually, I had a cherry lemonade. And
It's like 2 lanes down. Someone's like, those were mine. What are you doing?
Throw that bad boy over here. When the guy comes over with like cupped hands, like, here you go, splash in the face, and thank you. And drive off.
Okay, so put yourself in that man's skates. Do you quit the job, or do you go back and say, hey, look, here's why I'm drenched and sticky now? First off, if you're drenched and sticky at work, it's probably not a good situation.
You've definitely made some mistakes.
You've made a lot of bad calls.
Sonic is actually super dangerous because I don't know if you heard about this, but for their grease traps, they wouldn't just throw out their grease in their trash can. They would dig these holes that were about 15 feet down and about like a 10-foot circumference. So it's a big hole, just straight in the earth. And they would just dump their grease behind their restaurant. Wouldn't market anything. There was no cover, no nothing. And I have a buddy named Ben who one day he was at Sonic with his high school buddies. And there was some dare to like go do something behind the building. I don't know. He's running around, immediately falls in this massive grease pit that was full, that he had no idea existed, and came out just spitting Sonic grease, covered head to toe with something that I assume has been there since the beginning of time. I mean, and it was the funniest picture I've ever seen. Because they also had like corn dog sticks in it too. It was covered with sticks. And it was so funny that they just had these open grease pits. It was apparently a giant thing around the nation that these random kids were getting lost and they would find their bodies in these Sonic grease pits. Yeah, people were dying about this. And they would find their bodies in their Sonic grease pit trap. There was nothing covering it up. There was nothing there. It was just there, and people would just sink right to the bottom.
That's horrible. That's actually so bad.
Can you imagine? Like, yeah, okay, you die by cracking your head on a subway platform, breakdancing with your buddy. But can you imagine drowning in a sonic grease pit?
No, I didn't know that they had grease pits.
Dude, welcome to my life. You
But
gotta
yeah,
worry about
no, if you submerge yourself fully in grease from a fast food restaurant, especially like something like Sonic, there are no amount of showers to get that off of you. That's just going to be with you for the test of time.
at that point.
You are part of the grease now.
You have to live in the sonic grease pit.
So you're going to kind of smell like tater tots, man. It's like, all right, look, it was about 18 years ago. I fell into a pit.
I stared in the pit, and the pit stared back.
The pit doesn't play games. Wow, we've just learned a lot about Sonic there.
Like integrating yourself in society, and like the first time I see someone says, "Man, you smell like crap," he goes, "You know what? Screw it. I'm going back to the pit." And he decides to live in the pit.
It's just in the Sonic manual.
Oh,
It's just in the manual. It's like when you do something that's wrong or you mess up a customer's order, you have to spend 5 minutes in the pit, and then you'll never mess up again. I promise you that.
punish in the grease pit.
The grease pit.
Damn.
So that painting you got was $5, right?
$5.
What would you do if you had $50 billion?
I'd buy another painting, exactly the same one.
That's that that makes sense to me. Would you tell the bank that, hey, I think you accidentally, sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back.
I had to take a break. We're talking about Sean. I got so excited.
Little 2:30 p.m. moonshine. Nothing says I've got life together like going for a little afternoon snack. But before we had the difficulty there, we were talking about what would you do with $50 billion. And the reason I was bringing that up was there was a family. This happened like just this week. Family, they go to their banking account to take out some cash, and they find out that $50 billion was put in there on accident. And then they went to the bank and said, hey, I don't think this is my $50 billion. And then they're like, that's our bad. And they switched the accounts. But so what you're saying is you would buy another painting. You wouldn't tell the bank like, hey, I think you've made a mistake.
No, why would you? There's some yuppies. Let me tell you something. People like that, you don't tell me. You just deny. And you just say, I never looked at my card balance. And then it's their fault. Let them sort it out. You go, okay, I never looked at my card balance, but now
True.
Yeah.
At the same time, too, they interviewed like the dad, and he was like, if I had $50 billion, I would use it to help people around me. It's like, you did. You had the $50 billion. Why didn't you do that?
Yuppie. That's what he is. He's a yellow belly. What? You don't tell Jack. You quickly and discreetly put it in a different bank account, get it off shores, move to New Zealand. That's where the hobbits were. Boom. Also, they shot all over the rings. Go live with the tree people.
Would you have a family meeting? I think I would. I think I'd sit everyone down, but like, here's the deal. Dad's about to buy a Bugatti. Now, why? Because I can now. And I need you to tell literally nobody. It's going to sit in our garage. No one can find out this exists.
Of course, you had to have a family meeting. The kids are going to be like so confused. I mean, like, why do we buy a hot air balloon? Because Daddy can. Now, shut up.
Why did Dad get rid of his '04 Taurus and buy a brand new Ferrari? Look, I just got promoted, okay, and we have a lot more money now.
Why did Daddy get a new wife who's 10 years younger? Because Daddy can. Okay, now hush up.
Daddy has 5 girlfriends now, and it's none of your concern.
Daddy has a pet Maltese Falcon who will rip your face off if you keep asking Daddy more questions. You train a falcon to attack people when they ask you questions about how you buy things. Like, Cersei's attack, and you just sling it at people.
I'm blanking off the top of my head, though, how much money that is, like, compared to, like, the richest people on the planet. But, like, I feel like 50 billion is definitely above lots of billionaires. I feel like there's people that hit, like, 1 billion, but, like, 50 billion is 50 times more than those people, which is crazy. And they were just, I think, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was just, they were in Arkansas. So they're just a normal Arkansas family of 4 or 5. And then they check the bank account and they're like, oh, we're one of the richest people on the planet right now. They had that money for 10 minutes. But they took pictures of it.
Why would you? I remember on a reverse side of this, I saw something the other day where this lady was looking at her bank account for a night out, and she was like 40 million in debt.
Yes,
Like,
no.
She's like, what happened? I'm like, well, you're 49 whatever million in debt.
I saw that. Yeah, she tried to make a withdrawal for, like, I think, like, only like $20 or something like that. Nothing like too big. And they were like, no, you can't withdraw any more money. And she was like, why? Like, I have plenty of money. And then they're like, you're 40 million in debt, was what the account said.
Good.
And she freaked out. And then the bank was like, you don't owe 40 million. We made a mistake. How big are these So we've got a person that's 40 million in debt and someone who's just made 50 billion. I don't know if those two are connected at all. They sound kind of connected.
He can help. He said he wanted to help. Have him help her. Boom. Pay off her debt.
Pay it off. Be a nice guy. I don't know. Maybe
I know there's one dude who wanted to stick it to the banks because he hated them so much. Where he sent them a letter saying like, it's like this long legal business type letter, and they said, like, if you have no further questions or like correspondence for me, the fee for keeping me as a customer is $2,000 directed into my bank account monthly. And for like 30 years, $2,000 would be just deposited in his bank account until finally one day they called him up and was like, hey, you can't do this. And they tried to sue him, but the courts found in favor of him because he was like, yeah, he did nothing wrong. It was a mistake on your system. And like whatever employee you checked, it was like, okay, yeah.
that's badass.
It was badass. He used like a Google letterhead and made it seem like a really official company he's with. It was just someone who was, I think, unemployed. He just happened to have a Google letterhead.
He ran one Google ad. That was his connection to Google.
Boom. Basically, Mr. Google himself. I mean, shoot.
That'd be, honestly,
shoot.
I think that'd be an awesome T-shirt. It's just to say, I mean, shoot.
My face with my overalls. Yeah. What would you do with $50 billion if some, by gracious act of the Lord, hallelujah, just came down in?
So obviously I'd help people, right? But like on a personal, like what would I like? I mean, I'm a big car guy, so I definitely, buy some pretty cool cars. Maybe like nothing too crazy. I don't want to be that guy who's super rich and has like 50 cars. Like there's like maybe 3 or 4 cars that I dream about. So if I have those, then I'm good. Probably get a really nice house and a boat and never work again. And never tell people that 50 billion was put in my bank account.
That's step one, I think. I think we step one in any circumstance. Not like, well, we have to call the bank. Nah, yuppie. I just can't believe that. That typical Arkansas.
Could you imagine, like, you're that guy now, and you just call up like Jeff Bezos and you're like, hey, we're like the same kind of guy now. And he's like, what? Who are you? And he's like, my name is Daniel. And I woke up today and now we're supposed to be friends.
We are the same tax bracket, so come on over to Dot.
I think, speaking of billionaire ideas, I think you have a patent right there. The way you're like using your overalls as a hand rest, I think you should patent it.
It's comfy. A lot of people don't understand the versatility of the overall, but coming from East Tennessee, Appalachia, I know the beauty of the construction of the overall. Pockets are everywhere. I mean, shoot, I remember when I was a kid, I had a pet squirrel. Don't ask why. He just came to my life at one point. I'd keep in this, like, overalls have a lot of the same pocket. Keep it like the pocket right here on my right or left breast, and just walk around with a squirrel. They're comfy. It's like a home-built AC unit is built in there because they're flowy. It's flowy. It ain't constricting you like jeans nowadays. They
Right.
hug yourself. They hug your haunches. These they're loose, they're light, they're easy. Best summer wear ever.
Also, there's like a bunch of people too that are like, wear your heart and your pride on your sleeve. And it's like, why don't you forget sleeves? Take pride, like the American flag, put it over the entire overall and wear that, because that makes more of a statement.
Amen. The flag has got me covered. God bless. Hallelujah.
Are you good at like hula dancing? Because like if you were able to like roll your stomach like that, you can make the flag wave. That'd be kind of cool.
Wait, shoot. I don't know how much you can see it.
It's kind of waving. It's like a slight breeze. There you go. That's awesome.
That was not good at all. I like to apologize for everyone who saw that.
Hey, look, this is the 4th of July episode for
Oh, it is?
kind of. This episode will be out before okay, I can't talk anymore. The next episode will be out after the 4th of July. So technically 4th of July is this upcoming weekend. So
And I wore these by happenstance.
yes, Happy America Day. Way to keep the theme going.
Hallelujah. Amen. This nation's beautiful.
Speaking of beautiful, Zach, you're beautiful. Thank you again for coming on. We had a lot of fun. Hopefully you'll come on in the future because I feel like we had a lot of fun today. I feel like we had a good vibe going.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'll have to come back again.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all again for listening to the Late Night Snack. Appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram at the Late Night Snack Pod. Email us at thelatenightsnack.thepodcast@gmail.com. And send us all your questions, comments, concerns, any of that. If you want to verbally assault me, I'm here for that too. So do whatever you want with that information. Huh? Oh, what did you say?
I said I'm the one attacking you first.
Do it. I'll be checking them.
Do it.
I'll check the DMs and the mailbox to see if you do. Anyways, all right, guys. See y'all next week.